Have you ever wondered how a simple story becomes a tradition? Folklore, perhaps even a legend? Then you are in the right place, because that's what today's Fast Fable is all about, and we will be talking about a very specific example. It should not surprise anyone that spirits symbolizing winter, or at least sharing traits of the season, are common in many cultures. For instance, the Japanese Yukiana, the German Schneekind, and the Russian Snegurochka are all either made of snow or ice or born from them. That's where the resemblance ends. The Yukiana is a beautiful but very dangerous creature, often attacking lonely travelers and causing them to freeze to death. The Schneekind, by contrast, is a boy born from a snowflake who grows up to become a king. The Russian Snegurochka, the Snow Maiden, is very different from either of them. For one thing, and as folklore goes, she appears to be a fairly recent addition. While it's possible she existed in an obscure older tradition now lost. Her first known mention is in the second volume of Alexander Afanasyev's The Poetic Outlook on Nature by the Slavs, published in 1869. So was the Snow Maiden completely made up? Possibly, and also completely beside the point. If older tales' beginnings are lost to time, that doesn't mean those beginnings do not exist. The key is what happens afterward, and we're going to talk about that some more later. Back to Snegurochka. In Afanasyev's version, a childless old couple are watching a group of children outside making snowmen. Filled with longing for what might have been, on impulse, they decide to make a snowman themselves. Only they made a snow child instead, and it immediately comes to life as a young girl. No magic hat required, the old couple are overjoyed. The sweet girl grows up quickly into a beautiful young maiden. Then one summer, oddly enough, summer doesn't bother her. She goes into the woods with a group of other girls who build a fire in honor of St. John's Day. One by one, the other girls take turns leaping over the fire, which in some countries is considered good luck. Not for Snegurochka. When her turn to jump comes, she immediately turns into mist over the flames and evaporates. Is this the end of the Snow Maiden? Not quite, because now she reappears in an entirely new version of the story. In this one, she is the daughter of beautiful Spring and Dead Moroz, also known as Father Frost, from whom she inherits her snowy nature. The Snow Maiden develops an interest in a human shepherd, but is unable to feel love as humans do. Her mother takes pity on her and grants her this ability. She immediately falls in love with the shepherd. Love warms her heart. And again, she melts. This version was turned into a play, The Snow Maiden, by Alexander Ostrowski. Note that the story was turned into a play, not the other way around. The writer of Afanasyev's invention, if we can even call her that, is already taking on a life of her own. Even so, the poor girl can't seem to catch a break. But do not despair. Her stories continued, including a ballet and an opera. But soon the stories were supplemented by an actual new tradition, which is simply this. Now, she is considered not the daughter, but the granddaughter of Dead Moroz, who as Father Frost is the Russian equivalent of Santa Claus, with Snegurochka serving as his assistant. This tradition appeared in the late stages of the Russian Empire, where Christmas tree decorations were often in the shape of the Snow Maiden. Christmas celebrations were banned in the early days of the Soviet Union. But when the ban was lifted in 1991, Snegurochka was back, helping Father Frost with his seasonal duties as before. No matter where she started as tradition once lost or a story newly told, today she's solidly established in Russian tradition and folklore. And so we come full circle from a story, possibly made up, to a story now told about that story. Whatever her true origins, the Snow Maiden has transcended them to become part of a living tradition. May she never melt again.